Agatha, episode 7, the one that has an intro just like me.
You know, we really kind of hated each other in the beginning, but now...
It really showcases my range of emotions while watching the show.
Are you alright, ma'am?
And it understands the struggles I've gone through for watching this show in the first place.
I was chased out of every village I passed through for accurately predicting tragedy.
And that if you want to watch Disney Plus shows, there really is only one way to survive.
Tame your fears. That's what we're up against. Our worst nightmares.
It's like every scriptwriter rising behind the hood, draining their life force. No, you like this, don't you? It's evil it is. Join us in California. Now we start with one of the cruelest cuts of all time, because the intro ends with...
Death comes for us all.
Only to immediately cut to... I mean, look, she's old, but that's just insulting. Oh no! I've just looked in the mirror! Either way, she's there in desperation, reaching out for a talented scriptwriter. Of course, there's none to be found.
I'll get a nosebleed trying that hard to read my mind.
Do you really think there'd be anything interesting in it if you could? It's like, oh look, crochet! I can't wear green with blue because it clashes. It's just like 24 hours of Baby Yoda doing backflips. Which means you should just ask your questions aloud to me instead.
Okay then, where's Rio?
Not that question.
Why? Aubrey Plaza is the only good thing about this series. Why she been in 2 episodes? They didn't even give a scene of her disappearing. She just left. I'm sorry, the budget ran out. But there's a really strange scene where she goes, you didn't came to talk to me because I'm your mum's best friend, right? Ex-best friend.
She's not my mom. I have a mom.
Hi. A magic spell collapsed, you died and transformed into another body? This is the one circumstance you can't blame your mum for ditching you. She didn't put you up for adoption, you jumped into a corpse. If anything, this is your fault. She literally murdered people and traveled the galaxy looking for you. You can't be bitter. And well, one thing we are sure is that family you parasited your way into via their dead son, that's not your mom, under any definition. When people adopt, they actually want the child. You dived into the rotting husk of the thing they loved. You scum. That's the only correct response. You don't even know why you hate her, you cretin. Now, the strange thing is, neither of these two people could have any information about this event.
Is Wanda Maximoff really dead?
Yes.
How'd you know?
No.
How'd you know?
Maybe.
How would you even know? She's been trapped under Wanda's spell since she last saw Wanda, who was very much alive at the time. What happened? Did she go to the cinema and watch her on the big screen like everybody else? This is the perfect case of writer can't abstract, so just assumes the character has all the information they do. And the worst thing about that is, so does everybody else that made this episode, as someone would have spotted it.
Did you see a body?
Yes, I did.
Did anybody else?
Are we literally talking about the movie at this point?
It's hard to say. You want straight answers? Ask a straight lady.
Not really sure that's a complimentary statement at the best. At best, you know you don't know anything and are lying. And you want to broaden that out to an entire group, do you? I never expected Disney to be this edgy. If you just want lies, ask a lady.
That's different.
That's where you belong, locked away in the deepest, darkest dungeons. Oh, look, it turns out when I murder all of my friends, I turn up at an evil castle. Also, I don't know whether he's got something wrapped around his waist or whether it's meant to look like a skirt. I kind of think it is.
Road is a fickle mistress.
More vague insight. Thank you.
That has been every single attempt at being deep in the show, and you've only just got a problem with it now. Isn't it interesting how as soon as he gets power, he turns into an arsehole? Some people think that says something about power. I think that says something about them. But she's like, well, in my experience. What, your experience? I thought your experience would be the key to our success.
We're alive. Success.
Many more of you would have been alive if he hadn't murdered them at the end of the last episode for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I'm not sure why he's pissed.
I honestly believed your experience would be the key to our success here.
The failure in this series is you! You came in, didn't know anything, and when you found power, immediately murdered everybody, you disgusting piece of scum. This might be the worst character of any TV show of all time. No matter how horrifically evil other people have been, they've never murdered their own friends and then blamed it on somebody else this quickly. He might as well have strangled the life out of him going, this is your fault!
Now I wonder if you've ever been on the road at all.
I'll just push him off a bridge. But as they enter the Foul Castle, not the first time he's been inside a Foul Castle, okay. Look, no one expected this to get worse, but here we are, alright? They say some things are sent to test you. This is mine.
Classic.
How is this a classic? You look like a Ubisoft video game character. What are you doing, auditioning to be the next Netflix Lara Croft? I think I could pull it off. I've got a minge. This is one of those glorious cases of compared to a man, you look effeminate. Compared to a woman, you look like Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, she's based on me, you know.
It does actually suit her. This would have been a far better casting for Wicked. Plus, if we get to throw hydrochloric acid over her and she melts, that's just wins all round. This actress is far less insufferable than the one they actually cast.
But you,
Oh, don't I look? No, stop it.
but you seem pleased with your look.
Well, if the cheekbones fit.
Where are they fitting? Here's Angelina Jolie, you. Angelina Jolie, you. Jolie, you. Now, I do have to admit, a lot of work went into the costume, and it kind of does make it look like he fell from heaven and landed on his face. Like, seriously. What were you trying to prove? That you genuinely can't put lipstick on a pig? You shouldn't try. It wasn't made for you. And you weren't made for that either. It's impossible to dress you in that without you looking as an abomination. I'm just saying you shouldn't take fashion advice from the AAA gaming industry.
Do you think this is important?
I don't know. Do you think the central thing of the room might be a bit important to our challenge? But this is Taro, and as always, he's proving himself incredibly useful to the group.
It's Taro. I know this, kind of.
Yes, like you're a man, kind of. Let's face it, you have the same amount of knowledge about both. And I'm just going to spoil a reveal for you, because at the moment there are swords in the ceiling above them, and they might drop on them and die. I've already seen this once. I still live in hope. Maybe this time when I watch it, it'll be different. It'll be better. As he picks up the cards, a timer appears. Now, I will say one thing. That timer is utterly meaningless. It ping-pongs up and down. Sometimes it runs out and nothing happens, and then it fills back up again. The editing of this and that clock specifically is just ignore it. So he goes to do a tarot reading for her. I mean, you would have thought if this guy could predict the future, he wouldn't have ended up dressed in that. But here we are.
The horse Ron carried.
The chariot?
Yeah, he's a retard.
It's literally written on the card.
Right.
Did anybody expect him to be able to read? I mean, I'm sure he knows the entry forms at his local clinic off by heart, but apart from that...
You have these sphinxes with you,
I'm sorry, he's probably just got them on his mind.
and they represent your...
No, he has no idea what he's talking about, and he's basically trying to fake it in a magic puzzle. Incompetence, ye has a face. And normally in a show like this, if you had a token bloke that you just had around to humiliate, I'd be against it. But in this case, I think it's deserved. He did just murder all his friends for no reason. Yeah, every time they place a card down and get it wrong, a sword will drop from the sky. Unfortunately, they're not laser targeted. If in the next one we could attach rockets to them and grenades, I'd much appreciate it. So they see that the entire ceiling is full of swords. Now you would think once one's dropped and there's a big gap, just stand there. A sword can't strike twice in the same place. Unfortunately in this show they forget that as well and literally do that. Just don't think about it, turn your brain, it'll be fine.
I'll try another one.
What makes you think that's a good idea? I've just dropped a sword on your face. I'll go again. Maybe try and figure it out first, eh? Either way, he's like, I got the Seven of Swords, but it's reversed. It's supposed to be about betrayal.
So that means the opposite.
Wish we could get the opposite of you.
You're being truthful. Well, that can't be right.
Literally inches away from a good TV show there. But with that, as swords dropping all around her, Agatha wants to take control. And because he's a weak, pathetic excuse for a person, he lets her.
Tarot is a con like any other. There's no magic to it. There's no skill.
Which is coincidentally what they thought about writing a television show. Let's just scam the audience, bigots. Haha, got you. So she literally does eeny, meeny, miny, mo and just starts laying down cards all over the table. Whoops. Almost. You're so close. Keep going, love. Seconds away from glory. Pick it up and swing it at him.
Your turn is going great.
It was going way better than yours. You also got your head cut off. Thought you would have been used to getting speared by now.
We keep at it until we get the right cards in the right spots or the ceiling runs out of swords.
It's not actually a bad plan. We already saw how many swords are in the ceiling.
I'm not sure how much math you did back in Salem, but that will take forever.
Not when the ceiling runs out of swords. Cards correct, yes. Swords? No. The best bit is, when there's only one sword left in the ceiling, we could just position him right underneath it so we know it's going to hit him. I think I found the perfect plan.
We still have some time.
Like I say, ignore the clock. It gets more farcical the longer this thing goes on. The table starts to spin as if they've found a new watch and got, oh, look, it's turning. But then we find out the ceiling is getting closer. It's gonna descend, crush, and impale them at the same time, which to him is just a good Saturday night.
I wish Lily was here.
I don't know what use she'd be, to be honest.
I was falling.
I mean, look at the state of that. But she doesn't know where they are, and it was like, wait, what? You told me that we had to follow this gross tunnel. You're here because of what you said, don't you remember?
That we had to follow this gross tunnel and look for shelving.
Shelving.
Shelving? They really do have branches of IKEA everywhere, don't they? We get some timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff.
The son of the Scarlett Witch kicked us off the road.
Teen is the son of the Scarlet Witch?
We're going to have a lot of this kind of script writing, but it does get explained later on. The entire episode is essentially a grandfather paradox where she tells other people information that she doesn't have yet so that they can tell her in the future so she can go back and tell them in the past.
How do you know? I told you.
Either that or she's got dementia. We'll leave it up to you for now. Let's face it, anything's possible at this stage. So she said, I don't know what's gone on to you. Like 5 minutes ago, we were having a really nice heart-to-heart conversation, and now you're like this? You wouldn't have said that before.
You're being extra wispy.
Wispy?
Wispy. Look, we can't keep repeating each other's lines. It's going to take forever.
Kooky.
Kooky.
Which is it? Am I wispy or am I kooky?
To find out that actually all the stuff she's been saying in the previous episodes ties into this one. They weren't just random statements. They literally tie into specific scenes of her traveling through time.
Alice, don't try to save Agatha.
This one gets a bit awkward in retrospect, doesn't it?
Yes, I love this plan.
I want to murder you, Agatha, like to her face. And I know she's trying to warn the person Agatha killed, but also, Teen's the one that murdered you. Try and save yourself first.
What do you see?
Now this is weird, because this just turns out to be her mom. And as we found out in the intro sequence,
Our worst nightmares.
your worst nightmare is your mom? Because I've got to be honest, in the rest of the scenes with her in it, she seems quite friendly. Or if that's meant to be you're afraid of death, I mean, well, Aubrey Plaza's gone downhill fast, hasn't she?
Maestra? Ah, capisco. You are visiting.
I'm sorry. Someone just goes, Maestra? Ah, you must be time traveling. How did you get that from one word? Either way, she's traveled back to this time centuries. To her first tea leaf reading session. Now, I was always terrible at reading tea leaves. Because you're supposed to drink it, whereas you just make it and then throw it away. I tell you, it's like ultimate peasantry.
I was bad at tea leaves.
This is a fiction you told yourself and tell yourself still.
How'd you know? This is the first time you ever taught her how to read it. Unless you've been time traveling as well and we're just all together in this wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. She tells her, though, don't take the easy road. Tell me, what do you see? And we're back in the room. By a tea. I keep telling people it's got special powers, but no one believes me.
You're confused again. It's okay.
I'm not confused.
I'm just time traveling. That's not going to be a better excuse for her, is it? It says, don't worry, I haven't seen the Salem 7 since the way station.
You think I'm batty, is that it?
Yes. Then again, I have seen the interviews.
You look at me and you see some doddering old broad.
You sure you want an answer to that? I mean, doesn't everybody? This is literally the do you live in reality or delusion segment of the quiz.
Well, tell me what more I should see when I look at you.
That's also a yes, by the way. What else should I say? Either way, she starts to update her on the situation, that the flow of time is it's an illusion, what most people will never realize. I'd get gaps as a child, experience my life out of sequence as a child, and now it's getting worse. Why?
Maybe because I'm close to the end.
I mean, there is just 2 episodes left, so probably.
Your full powers returning?
I'm not so sure I want it.
Before I press play, what time period have we jumped back to? I don't know if I'm allowed to know it.
Agatha,
Well, she did say if you want a straight answer.
did you not see imminent impalement in your future?
I thought imminent impalement is what I was just about to watch.
Lilia!
Well, I mean, thank God that's been avoided. Given the new Disney Plus, you can probably put that on the streaming service, but nobody wants them to.
Are you okay?
What do you mean, is she okay? You murdered her! You'd wanted her to drown in mud, and it's only through sheer magic you had no control over she's alive.
Whoa! Ow!
I can understand him being that weak and pathetic that hurts him. She really should have just grabbed the back of his head and started punching him. It's the last thing he'd expect when he sees that.
You're not cool, teenager.
Damn, using his full name.
Oh, this show really needed testosterone, didn't it? Like, if you're gonna have basically script writing, then you really needed some talent in the room.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have lashed out at you like that. You didn't deserve to.
Be murdered? No, she didn't. That's why you need to be subjected to justice.
I wasn't hiding my power from you.
Who cares? You murdered me with your I don't care whether you were hiding it or not. I cared about it when you revealed it.
I didn't know that I could.
Kill you all. But of course, he's just reading her mind and like replying to her in her own head. It's like, yeah, but who cares, right? Pissing murdered me for no reason. Just to get get your jollies off.
I would have known. I would have.
Still murdered me. But because the sigil's broken, she also remembers him.
Aren't you furious?
I mean, always, but collectively, we moved on.
Yes, I know. He only tried to murder me for a little bit, but we've got past that now. He promises he's not going to murder me again. Oh, we can move on when one of those swords has gone through his skull. But she tells her, you know, the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. You've already lived this part of the day, and you've forgiven him, despite the fact that you don't know it yet. So he still stands there looking like a complete div, with the cheekbones of somebody who should be on radio.
What are you wearing?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's basically what her inner soul looks like.
What am I wearing? This is so demeaning.
I can't believe you've put me in a dress. I only wear jeans and t-shirts like a modern piece of scum.
Focus up, Calderu. We can be culturally offended later.
Why? This is your culture. This is who you are. This is the grand total of everything you can ever achieve. If you're offended by your limitations, maybe you shouldn't have set them yourself. Somehow, though, she remembers what she did in the past despite not having lived through it yet. So she starts saying, I was doing a reading for you, but something went wrong. There was a sword that was about to pierce me, and if only it had gone through him instead, we all would have been cheering right now. I need to work out how to manage my cards better.
I'm glad you're here now.
That's only because you murdered her and then it found out that you needed her. This is self-interest like all the other actors.
Because now you need me.
See? Why did you throw it that way? He's right in front of you.
Ain't that just like a witch?
That's true. He is a complete witch. They go through, though, that she was the one that cast the sigil on him, and it was because she saw what was going to happen to him and thought he needed time to heal. I mean, he stole a corpse's body and then became a parasite in another family. It's not him that had the problem, it was the family.
We didn't even put any cards down!
Has everyone forgot the pissing timer? The ceiling was collapsing on you. I'm sorry, we did this thing for an arbitrary timer and then forgot it existed.
Maybe no cards is as bad as the wrong ones.
Or more chances to stab you through the face. Oh look, the ceiling started collapsing again. We're lucky that paused when people weren't on camera, weren't they? Otherwise, it would have already been at the floor by now and we couldn't have had that. As she's wondering what she did wrong, though, we flash back to where Agatha was almost subjected to justice by her mum.
I hated this the first time!
Which was a line in that episode. Which then flashes back to the first episode, where she was screaming in front of those two after she met them for the first time. Which, to be honest, having seen what we've seen is perfectly legitimate. Stop. That's most people's reactions when they first meet him. Oh, stop! There are swords above him. Back with her mum, though, she's just kind of humiliating herself. No, I'm not good with nature. No, I'm not nimble with my craft. And my coven sucks. Mum's like, but you need a coven. No, a coven's never worked out for me. It's better to be a hermit, a fraud. And her mum's like, yes, there's so much fear. But I need to control my power. Just tell me how to control it. Like they're talking past each other. Neither of them's listening to what anyone's saying. They're just having their own conversations at each other. But as she jumps back into the tunnel, she finds a book. Just though, how come this power that you had when you were younger, how did it stop?
I put it away.
Why?
Because she saw Billy Maximoff and realized that there's no way anyone could suffer that company. And if I'm going to have to meet that fate, I'd rather not know.
Because all I saw was death.
Hey, close enough. All I saw was insufferable prick. It was basically the end of me.
Is that Shelby?
IKEA is here to save the day. Clearly the road knew that they would never find that as an exit to the puzzle, as neither Agatha nor Teen can read. And so, as the swords descend upon them,
I wish Lilia was here.
there was literally no need for that second one to fall over. He just dives on top of her for no reason. Oh, there's a woman on the floor, quick. Now he realizes I've got no power and the two people I've just murdered have arrived. Hopefully they're gonna murder me.
Relax, baby. We're cool.
I'm not. Fire him out a window.
We are?
Exactly. Just because he's standing there being humiliated in his current outfit is not an excuse to let him off the hook. Turn him into a dung beetle. No, actually, no. No, that'd backfire, wouldn't it? As she arrives, though, she realizes this is my task. I'm the one that's supposed to be doing the reading.
Who's the querent?
You mean the subject? Me, I guess I'm the querent.
It's so funny. The joke's written by... You can understand why comedy shows used to have a token woman on them, can't you? Then they added more and comedy died. They even know their own joke is bad. The weird thing is she pulls the sword off her seat. I can imagine him like putting one in there. So, what? We're gonna sit down. Might as well have some fun. So they start doing the question, but Teen is so thick and stupid and mentally retarded, he can't come up with a question. So everyone else starts giving him questions.
How are we gonna get out of here?
Teen must ask.
Ask her how we're getting out of here.
The question must be vital to his journey.
Teen, think of a pissing question, you mentally deficient simpleton.
Can you just steal or whatever?
He must ask a question.
He's too thick to think of a question.
And leads to large gaping wound.
Am I William or am I Billy?
Oh my god. Took him that long to think up something that stupid. You're Billy. This is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you parasitical scum. With that, though, the swords stop. I don't know why. Nobody cares.
That's a very good question.
No, it isn't. It doesn't even fit in with the rest of the plot. She explains the spread and what each one of the cards symbolizes. Past, present, future, windfall.
Now, team, I want you to hold your question in your mind. Push everything else away.
Is anyone under the impression this guy can hold two things in his mind at the same time? This is somebody who doesn't even know his own name. The thing is, as he's pulling cards, the first one being the magician.
Very fitting.
Yeah, it's still wrong. Maybe it's because it said magician.
Reunion.
And every time they place a new card, another sword falls.
How are we supposed to get it right when tarot is completely subjective?
We're gonna keep picking cards until he gets a sword through his skull. It's about time we had a happy ending in this show. Don't take that the wrong way. He's probably had plenty already.
Pick again. The path behind.
Nobody wants to know about his behind.
Oh, no. Get off me!
Yes, at that moment, she picks a card and was about to get speared through the face. Not by Teen, obviously. But she calls out again as she travels through time once more.
You know, we really hated each other from the beginning, but now...
Now we still do. It was just a feeling that I had at first, whereas now I have reasons.
I love you guys.
To be honest, I thought that was just because of the wine. They're my best friends in the whole world. Eventually, though, she travels back to her mum, who's trying to give her the answer without actually giving her the answer. She's going through all the reasons why she may have come back. I want my power back. Well, your power never went away. You just stopped using it.
This is not the true reason.
I'm a forgotten woman.
And that tends to happen. That's what a husband's for. If you'd put some men in the show, maybe you could have solved that as well. She says, though, I saw all of you dying. I saw my entire coven dying. Dying of a fever in the future, and I could do nothing to stop it.
I told you, but it didn't change anything.
That comes for us all.
In a coven of time-traveling witches, they probably saw it coming as well, to be fair. This doesn't seem like your fault.
That comes for us all.
You say it like it's a comfort.
It depends. Is it teens? Because if that happens, I'm throwing a party.
It is what we all have in common.
When will it come for me?
Hopefully after teens. Come on. But as she realizes, I was falling, I will fall. What will you do with your remaining time? And she travels back to set in motion everything that's happened so far.
The son of the Scarlett Witch telepathically kicked us off the road.
Telekinetically, but who's counting? That's what I say. It's not like a witch should know the different forms of magic. But this is where she says, I could see all the pieces falling into place. We must find the bookshelf. And they get given a path of two options. One goes down the witch's road, and the other one, well, it leaves the road and goes back home again. That was lucky. Someone with a lisp is coming.
The 7.
7 lisps? Seems like a bit of a terrible coven if everybody can hear you coming. Sneak up on people in silence. You'll catch more. But there's that, the coven arrives, seemingly having no idea where they're going. And for some reason having massive heads? I don't understand. That's definitely not the size of their craniums. They would have caught them by now. They're only trying to outsmart Agatha. And they can't even see people who are too thick to actually hide. She tells her, though, I'm going to go and save Teen. It's up to you whether you decide to follow me. I would have gone home. I want to save Teen? Pfft.
Agatha and Billy need my help. I hope you'll join me.
You had me at Billy needs help. I'm off.
Why? Because you are my sister in the craft.
Says I need you to join me. You are my sister. This is the sisterhood, where all the insufferable people get together in a communal group and make each other miserable. I've made terrible decisions and I want you to make them as well. Peer pressure works. This is why they said get rid of it. It's too effective on a certain target audience. But now it's time for the hero moment. We get dramatic.
I know what I did wrong. My path winds out of time.
It actually doesn't. That's just because you can't control your own power and couldn't be bothered to try and sort it out.
Reading for the wrong person. I am the traveler.
Okay, but if you were reading for the wrong person, why did the swords stop first time? Yeah, they kept dropping, but they did stop crushing you. Is it because they wanted to spear him through the face rather than slowly, with multiple swords, completely destroy his body?
I am
The Queen of Cups.
You can't even read tea leaves, you silly bint. Like, seriously, you told us this yourself. I've always been crap at this. I'm the master of cups. That's largely because I've been miserable and keep drinking wine out of them. Lots of practice, you see. Instead, she's empathetic, intuitive, got an inner voice.
No sword.
That's unfortunate. Every sword that doesn't drop is a missed opportunity. And so she starts pulling out other cards. This one's about our coven, our community. The Knight of Wands.
The Knight of Wands.
The one that was so stupid, she actually helped Agatha, who immediately slaughtered her. This is you, my coven. My dead coven.
full of fire, fights bravely.
Yeah, she fought bravely and then she got murdered by the person on your right. Why is nobody caring that your friends are getting murdered? Oh, my coven, I love you so much. That's it, you murder them, that's fine. Thank you.
Running out of time, Lilia.
Why would we care if you're running out of time? Two of you have murdered the other half of the coven. Apparently she's the high priestess. She's glowing. Probably all that crap she's put on her face. She has no idea where it's come from. The Three of Swords, the obstacle. It's Agatha, one of the people who keeps slaughtering all of our friends that for some reason we keep around.
Heartache, sorrow, grief.
Murderous lunatic.
The windfall.
Windfall? He murdered the other half of your coven. Pathetic piece of scum. The person who should have been dropped off the highest tower in the castle. The worst person in the entire show.
Tower reversed.
Yeah, see, drop him off the tower. That's... They know! They know! We want to see him fall!
Disaster, destruction.
Absolutely massive cunt. And then, as all the swords are around her, she's like, I don't know whether I should just pull mine. Should I pull mine?
The destination.
This is just a Saturday night for Teen, isn't it? He's been here before. But she sees someone walking through the crowds. It's Aubrey here. Didn't have time to do the rest of the episode, but she appeared in this one. This is the mighty reveal. All roads lead to me. I am death. I mean, fine, but why did they not put you in the rest of the series?
Rio is
Death. Apparently this is supposed to be a big reveal. I don't know why. Not only did they already put it on a Funko Pop and spoil their own reveal, I didn't know this was supposed to be a big reveal. I don't know, maybe if you read the comics, it's a bigger impact. So, oh, she's deaf. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Seriously, one witch is much the same as another. With that, though, the swords stop, and unfortunately, Teen is still alive. The exit opens, and they go, Rio is death. Ah, this is important.
the original Green Witch.
Is it true?
What do you mean, is it true? This means absolutely... This means less to you than it does to me. You know nothing about witchcraft. We saw your entire flashback. Is it true? Is she... What does it matter to you either way? This is like getting told she's Morgan Freeman.
What can I say? I like the bad boys.
Well, death isn't innately bad. I don't... What? As far as I'm aware, she doesn't actually kill the people. She just takes their souls after they've already died. Oh, no. The people with the lisps are back again. But with that, they escape through the Iron Maiden.
When she calls you a coward, hit the deck.
What?
Why? Agatha murdered multiple witches. You're supposed to be setting her up, not saving her.
Go!
Teen, I'm so upset that a sword didn't hit you in the face.
How?
Don't give him the book back if it saves his life. Only do it if it makes him turn himself into like an amoeba or something. But with that, they are the path ahead and she stays behind to save the world.
I loved being a witch.
Yeah, but did you love that coven? I mean, they're all insufferable cows. They keep murdering each other. Why are you dying for them? Leave Teen in there. They can eat his corpse. No! But no, this is the time to sacrifice myself for absolutely no reason whatsoever. We've already proven that they can't follow them through and they'd just be safe on the other side. But she's like, no, I need to die for no reason. And so as the animals come in. And she says what we've seen before. If you didn't know this about the road, after you've done a trial, like I've just done, if you stay behind too long, something horrific happens. It wants to move you on to the next room. Otherwise, disaster strikes.
Disaster, destruction, sudden upheaval.
Like Teen appearing on screen again, isn't it? Oh.
Like the tower, upright.
Flips the tower over and like magic, the building also goes. Everyone falls. And she's there, holding on. So all the 7 fall on the swords. Until eventually she falls as well. And the start and the end of the episode goes full circle, like a ring. And none of this needed to happen, but we're just doing it for lulz. I still would have got Teen to do it myself.
Let us begin.
Now, I have a soft spot for time travel stories, especially ones which make you see previous events through a different light. It's a very simple way to get me to like your story. It's like a cheat sheet. So for me, I thought this was the best episode out of all of them. Largely because Teen was in it at least. It's so far the only episode that felt like it had a bit of thought put into it, like a bit of planning. And it was an interesting way of telling the story. The problem is the story. Nothing about this episode itself was entertaining, the story wasn't complex, and if you told the story, like, straight in a timeline, it would have been another terrible episode. It was only the flicking back and forth that gave it enough depth to be mentally stimulating enough to be like, okay, that one is the best one, because all the rest have been dull as dishwater. And so it's a bit of a weird episode. And that the contents itself wasn't good, it wasn't meaningful, and the characters in them are all insufferable. You can't just get over somebody trying to murder you, like, immediately meeting them. Teen really should have died in this episode. He should have had those swords just go through him. It had to happen after he slaughtered the witches for no reason. It was the only way he was ever going to have justice, and no one's going to trust him after that. Or Agatha. Both both of them really needed to die in this episode. But at least, for once, the way of telling the story was interesting enough, and they made me like a character by the end, which is more than I can say for the others. Although at least this show does have a habit of trying to make you like the character before they murder them. Just for some reason keeps the murderers alive. So I don't know if the intention is to make me ever more despise the people who are still alive in the show. That's what you've achieved. More and more I like the characters which aren't in it anymore that you've killed off, only to despise the people who are remaining. Which is a weird way of telling a story, but here we are. And those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you liked the video. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.